It doesn't matter how many appointments you have if nobody knows about them or is reminded about them. No-shows are an absolute problem in our digital world now. And so I want to walk you through some of the native settings that are possible inside of the calendars area and how that can help you with your show rate and making sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to where and when the appointment is going to happen. From the calendar settings, we're going to go back to the main area and then over to the automations tab here. And I'm going to create a workflow. And I'm going to actually start from a recipe. You can start from scratch. I often do, but there is actually a recipe specifically for a calendar, like an appointment reminder sequence here. And as I'm going through it, it's the bottom one or near the end is the appointment confirmation reminder. So I'm going to go ahead and select that recipe. And this is just going to fast track some of the action items that you need to have inside of the automation. So the benefit of pairing an automation or a workflow with your calendar is because if you have multiple calendars and you want to share those reminders, this now makes those reminders one place you need to manage them. You can change the text or the copy or have certain custom preferences, and it's all in one place. You don't have to edit in 10 different places just because you have 10 different calendars. With the recipe open, you see there's two aspects of what create a workflow. There's a trigger, what determines how they get started in this automation. And there's the actions that happen. So our trigger here is the appointment. It's actually the appointment status is the trigger that they have by default. So when an appointment has the status of confirmed, which would happen if the appointment is auto-confirmed, and they have the event type filter on here for normal. There are kind of like, you can set it differently for recurring. So it might be, this is typically what you want, is you want a reminder sequence on a normal type of appointment, not a recurring one. And the status is confirmed. So this would not run if it was unconfirmed or new, I guess is the unconfirmed status there. It's definitely not going to, it's not going to put them in here if they cancel or they no show or at the end of the call here. So confirmed is typically, this is the best filter for it. And you see a couple things are happening. You've got a confirmation email that would be similar to what HighLevel has baked into their options there. You can change the sender name, the email, the sender email, the notification, all of the aspects about it. So it's very common. We have immediate confirmation there. You can also add extra actions for SMS if you want. Out of the box, this recipe has an immediate confirmation. It has a 24 hours before it sends an email. It has a 1 hour before it sends an email, and it also sends a text message 1 hour before. This is helpful because if they're going to, sometimes if you confirm the appointment immediately via text, they might reply stop just because they don't want you to text them a lot. And this way you're like, okay, I gave you the text reminder right before the appointment. So hopefully you show up to the appointment. And that's just the reality of, depending on the channel that you use to remind them, the more or less likely are going to be to see it. And so text messages definitely get the highest open rate of any form of communication. Just look at your life. And email, much more variable there. And so it's got a 24 hours before a single email, an hour before an email and a text minute reminder, and then 5 minutes before a email and then another SMS. And so out of the box, this recipe is pretty good. You can get more creative with it, and you can also even elongate this. So if you wanted to add additional actions that are longer wait times, what are you sending 3 days before, 7 days before? The cool thing with these wait steps is they are set to skip all outbound action until the next wait step. So if I start off with a wait, I got my immediate confirmation, and then I add a wait step in here that's, well, actually, I'll show you. It's even cool. You can just clone this. So I'm going to copy this, just this action over here, and then I'm going to copy this 24-hour email, just this action over here. I'm going to retitle this to be, let's go 3 days before. We're going to make sure this is set to 3 days. So now our recipe looks like immediate confirmation. That's great. And then 3 days before, and then I got to retitle this email. This is our 3 days before email. If they book 2 days out, it'll just skip this sequence here. They won't get the 3-day reminder email. They'll only get the 24-hour reminder email. And so as a practical example, when you're forced to book out further appointments there's usually a correlation between no shows and ultimately a greater chance of waste of time or lack of success the further out an appointment is booked. And so we will put some nurture sequence and process in there that actually encourages them to meet sooner. You can even do notifications in here. Like if it's 3 days before and they get this email, we might add a manual action to call for our team. So basically pinging someone to send a call in there, or maybe webhook out and send an action to, alert. I mean, now there's so many things in here. I think we even have let's go back here, Slack you can run. So like send a Slack notification to the account of like, hey, they got an appointment in 3 days. Maybe just give them a call and see if they want to hop on sooner. And so there's an example of the automations, the workflows you can pair with calendars. I hope this was helpful for you when it comes to understanding calendars. If you don't mind, smash that like button. It means a ton to the channel. But if you want, this is part of a larger segment. I did a complete deep dive into all things calendars. So if you're in that zone, ready and willing to learn everything that HighLevel has going on, I'm going to actually let you have that video right over here.